everyone, and welcome to my very first episode of my new podcast called the Hashimotos Diaries. My name is Kristen. I go by Nani, and this is my little safe space of the internet where I would like to share my real life story with living with Hashimoto's. If you're new here, I'm so glad that you're able to find this space. And basically, each week, what I want to do is I would like to talk about, my journey with Hashimoto's, what I've learned, what I'm working on, and what's working for me, what's not working for me, and just share my personal experience and hopefully help you guys if you were also diagnosed and dealing with this disease. So, what is Hashimoto's? Many people don't know what this is or has even heard of it. I personally never heard of it before I was diagnosed. Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease. Basically, your immune system normally is supposed to protect your body by attacking bacteria or viruses in your body. But with Hashimoto's, your immune system is attacking your thyroid gland by mistake, which then causes your thyroid to not be able to make enough of the thyroid hormone, so your body doesn't function well. But I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's about a year ago in June of 2024. And how I was diagnosed, it was by accident. So I went to my just general doctor for a routine checkup, and he noticed that my neck was very swollen and it almost looked like I had a rubber band around my neck. And so he was concerned. So he recommended me to go to an endocrinologist just to, get my labs redrawn over there and test to see the levels of the thyroid hormone and just make sure everything was okay. So I scheduled my appointment with an endocrinologist. I did my labs, and I actually had an ultrasound done of my neck. And when I got to my appointment, basically the doctor had told me that my thyroid levels were very, very high and abnormally high. And he suspected I had Hashimoto's disease. So hearing that was a lot because, you don't expect to hear that you have an autoimmune disease. It's very shocking. So he was kind of explaining, what Hashimoto's was to me, and that I also, from my ultrasound, they noticed some nodules, which are like small bumps on your thyroid that are obviously, they're not supposed to be there. So I was experiencing a lot of difficulty swallowing, like foods, water, whatever. And I don't know if anybody else has also experienced that, but it is the weirdest feeling. When you're eating, it almost feels like you're going to choke on your food because it doesn't go down properly. Well, why that was happening was my thyroid was so swollen and it had these nodules on it. And honestly, as the doctor was explaining that to me, he was saying it could be really dangerous because you can actually choke. But so yeah, he's explaining all this to me. It's so much information. It's very stressful and shocking. But as of right now, I'm unfortunately not able to take any thyroid medication, which, it really sucks because you think you're getting diagnosed and you're going to the doctor, you're doing all the right things, and that you would get an answer and a solution to, what's going on with you. But being told that you're not able to take a medication is really confusing. But basically why I'm not able to take it right now is because your TSH hormone has to be a certain level or, to a certain extreme to where you can take this medication, which my levels are extreme, but I guess it just hasn't hit that barricade yet to where I am able to take medication. So here I am. It's basically just a waiting game until it does get to that point. Unfortunately, it's not something that can be cured. It's something that you just have to live with and maintain. But unfortunately, it is going to get worse. And I basically just have to wait until it gets to that point where I can finally get medication to help control it. But so, when I was told that, obviously it's pretty upsetting. You're told that you're diagnosed with this disease and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just a waiting game. So for a couple months, I was just literally struggling with all the symptoms. I just had a lot of fatigue, muscle weakness, weight gain. I was on multiple diets and they weren't working for me. I was actually gaining weight on all these diets, and it was very hard mentally, which caused, depression because, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I gaining weight? And, nobody wants to gain weight when you don't need to. My hair was thinning. I had a lot of acne and, hormonal acne. So, just dealing with all that stuff, it's a lot. And so basically, I just did my own research. And by all means, I am not a medical professional. I'm not giving any sort of medical advice. Obviously, you should talk to your doctor about certain things or what you would like to do, but I would just like to share what has been working for me. So, what I started doing, I started researching other people's experiences, kind of like what I'm sharing right now. So, I found what had worked for me, and basically, I started with my diet. So, I'm not following a strict paleo diet, but it's very similar. So, I started by cutting out all gluten, all dairy, all grains, except for jasmine rice. I do eat jasmine rice. But basically just eating fruits, vegetables, and meats. That's basically what I try to eat every single day. I've struggled with weight loss my entire life, and for once in my life I finally have started losing weight. I've tried so many different diets. I've tried keto, I've tried calorie deficit, all these certain diets, detoxes, whatever, and nothing has worked. I tried this diet and I'm starting to see results, and I've never been happier. So, the reason why I'm cutting out gluten. So, gluten, apparently, from what I've researched, it causes inflammation in your thyroid because it mimics the hormone that is in your thyroid. So you have this autoimmune disease that is attacking these thyroid hormone levels. So it's attacking it more and causing more flare-ups. So I cut that out completely. And not every food for every person is going to cause the same flare-ups. So it's kind of just trial and error. I started extreme. I cut out everything. I don't know, like I said before, what I cut out, there's also things called nightshades. I didn't know what that was, but there's certain vegetables that are called nightshades that could also cause flare-ups. So I just did what worked for me and what didn't. For example, like potatoes, which is a nightshade. I thought, maybe potatoes are causing a flare-up, so I cut it out, and then a couple weeks later, slowly incorporated it back and to see if I had a flare-up, and I didn't. So now I know I can have potatoes, but for some people, they unfortunately can't. It doesn't work for them. Dairy, I cut out dairy and then tried to see if it was causing a flare-up and tried it again a few weeks later. Sure enough, I woke up the next day and my throat was swollen and I couldn't even swallow. So I know that it was causing a flare-up for me. That's just my experience with food, and this is what's been working for me. So, like I said before, I've been trying to lose weight for a very, very long time, and I've tried these vigorous workouts, thinking, oh, if I work out this much, I'm going to lose fat and build muscle, and if I combine this with these other diets, it's going to work. Well, of course, it didn't work for me. You're supposed to feel tired after you work out. Obviously, you're working your muscles, and that's just how you're supposed to feel. But what I was feeling was extreme tiredness, and like I overworked myself and my muscles. Just the muscle pain and joint pain that I was experiencing was just abnormal. This didn't feel right. So for me, working out does not work for me. So how I quote unquote work out is, I just go on walks, very calming workouts versus these, vigorous workouts. And also before, I think I mentioned sleep. If not, sleep is very important with Hashimoto's. When you're sleeping, that is your body's time to relax, and, stress is also a big trigger for Hashimoto's. So that sleep time is giving your body the rest that it needs to heal. Before, I didn't realize how important sleep was. I was only getting maybe 5-6 hours of sleep if I was lucky, and even then, it wasn't even good sleep. So I made it a point to where, okay, now it's 9 o'clock. I need to start getting ready for bed, no screen time. And I tried to get around 8, 9 hours of sleep if I'm lucky. And oh my gosh, it has changed the way I feel so much. I don't wake up super tired. I wake up feeling refreshed, and my muscles don't feel achy. Like before, I could barely walk. This just really helped me. So, and then obviously, like I said, the stress part, just trying to remain calm in a lot of situation and not overthink things. I know that's easier said than done, but just trying not to overreact to things and let things get to you. I've tried meditation at night before I go to sleep to kind of fully decompress, and I feel like that's really helped. I don't know. I'm religious, so, reading Bible verses before bed and having that reassurance that God's got your back, that's really helped me with my stress. But yeah, so all those things, those have really helped me. And like I said before, with this podcast, I just basically every week I just want to come and do a check in on how I'm doing, what's working for me, and maybe that can help you guys in some way, and you can try out the same things I'm trying out. And you guys feel free to comment on what you want me to talk about, your experiences, how they're going, if you tried this, the recipes I post on my Patreon, what you didn't like or what you'd like to see. But what I want you guys to really take away from this podcast is that if you're dealing with Hashimoto's, just remember that you are not crazy. Your symptoms are real. You're not lazy. Your body is just asking for patience and understanding. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. Your body needs to heal itself. But, thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoy these weekly chats. It's very fun to do. I enjoy doing this. If you want to support my show over on my Patreon, that's where I'm at. It's called Nani's Healing Kitchen. There I post like recipes and other informational posts. If you're interested, I will post the link below. Until next time, just take care of yourself and listen to your body.